Hello everyone, Taki here. Today we're going to take a look at the most impressive mini PC that I've ever seen. A little while ago, I did a review of a Ryzen-based system from this company, which I still think is a great mini PC, but it's nothing compared to this latest model. Beyond just being much bigger than that Ryzen system, this new mini PC is significant because it packs a desktop 9th gen Intel CPU, and it comes with a very decent GTX 1050 Ti graphics card. Let's quickly go over the outside of the device. On the front, you have a headphone jack, a microphone input, and a power button. On the left side, you have a TF card slot and a variety of audio inputs. On the back of the device, you have a huge heat exhaust, and I'll take a look at that later in this video. We also have our power input, HDMI, DisplayPort, Ethernet port, and 4 USB ports. The bottom of this PC does come with mounting holes, but I can't imagine attaching this to the back of a TV or monitor due to how large and heavy it is. To power this whole device, you'll also have a very large power brick that's almost half the size of the whole device. And just so you can get a sense of scale, here's another look at that Ryzen system sitting on top of this new device. Now let's get into the specs. There are a couple of different configurations for the H31G, but the one that I have here is using an Intel i5 9500F CPU. The star of this entire device is the GTX 1050 Ti 4GB GPU that's an absolute beast in this mini box. The rest of the specs are 8GB of DDR4 RAM, 256GB of M.2 SSD storage, and Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.1 for connectivity. The first thing that I want to do before jumping into some gaming tests is to run some benchmarks. I got a Firestrike score of 6502, a TimeSpy score of 2479, and a Heaven benchmark score of 4166. And just to round this out, I got a Geekbench 4 score of 4803 single and a 16782 multi. For Geekbench 5, I got a single core score of 1128 and a multi-core score of 4135. These are very good scores, all things considered, so I'm pretty sure this system is going to match or outperform the best device that I've tested so far on this channel. Let's kick off the PC gaming test with an obligatory test of can it run Crysis at max settings.
Prophet, this is Aztec. You copy? I read you.
I also wanted to test out Resident Evil 2, which is just a little too demanding for this GPU at maximum settings for some of the in-game effects, but it can run at 60 FPS if you tune down some of those settings. Unsurprisingly, the 1050 Ti isn't strong enough to run Monster Hunter World at maximum settings, but it also runs at a fairly decent rate at 1080p. You can see that our system temp is sitting at 86 degrees Celsius, even though we do have dual fan exhaust. I also wanted to include at least one shooter for this video, so I went for the free-to-play game Crucible. Path of Exile also runs at full speed on this system. And finally, Rocket League is now free to play, so I decided to throw in some test footage for this video. As you can see from the GPU and CPU utilization, this system has ample power to run this game at full speed. Now this is where things are going to get interesting. I want to see just how far I can push this system's emulation capabilities, and to do that, I'm going to follow a lot of the titles that I tested when I was filming my GPD Win Max series of videos. Let's start off first with PSP at 3x resolution. For GameCube and Wii, I cranked the resolution to 1080p, and while it worked well for the games that I used in this video, 720p would probably be a better middle ground to eliminate any potential issues with more demanding games. For PS2, we are also going to be using a resolution of 1080p with stock settings using the level 3 preset.
You weren't thinking of going without me, I hope. I'm the best there is when it comes to looking.
Ratchet & Clank is a good title to test with since the gun in this game can easily slow down other systems when you fire it, but there wasn't any noticeable change on this device.
To select weapons, hold triangle and select an icon.
For Wii U, we have Breath of the Wild running at 1080p. Admittedly, I probably would crank this down to 900 or 720p to maintain a full 60 FPS regardless of what's happening. I decided to put this at 1080p just to see how much the H31G would struggle to run this title. Now let's move over to 3DS, and for this we are going to be running the games at 2x resolution. This is also going to be a trade-off with this system, as some 3DS games will not run at full speed at 2x resolutions, but I don't like the way that standard definition looks on a bigger screen. I haven't tested a device that could run Super Mario Odyssey this well, but there's obviously still room for improvement. I was also impressed with how smooth Pokémon Sword was, even though I did run into a few crashes while filming. Even though I did get a lot of games to run well for this video, PS3 was actually a bit of a letdown, as the performance jump wasn't that drastic compared to the Win Max. I also ran into some bugs tied to this GPU that caused a few games to have heavy screen tearing.
Hey.
Don't take it personally.
Challenge the Sparta. This is the
And finally, Xbox 360. I tested around 7 games on the H31G, and these are the ones that ran the best.
cycle.
As you can see, this device is a gaming beast, so let's open it up to take a look inside. With the bottom off, you can see that we have easy access to the SSD and the Wi-Fi card. If I remove this hard drive tray, you can see the one stick of RAM that came with my device, but the thing that I really want to take a look at is the cooling solution on the other side. Based on the temps that I saw, I think they did a reasonable job with this solution, given just how much power this thing can draw from the wall, as it's really easy for this to pull over 100 watts under load. The surprising thing though is that this fan isn't nearly as loud as I thought it would be, and it only really ever went up to full blast when I pushed the system to its limits with more demanding games. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at the H31G by Minisforum. If you want to pick up one of these, or you want to check out more information on the device, there's a non-affiliate link in the description box below. If you want to know anything more about this system, feel free to leave a comment below, and while you're there, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel to help support my reviews. I'll catch you next time with another review. Happy gaming everyone. Taki out.